Hello, everybody. Wine with Jimmy here. Thank you so much for clicking by. Welcome to a special video where we're going to be talking to my good friend Jorge Vila, who's from Galicia, a Galician born and bred gentleman who I got to know a couple of years ago through a trip to Galicia through the Wine Scholar Guild, and we've remained good friends. And what Jorge is doing in Galicia is very special. So I wanted to do a short interview with him to give everybody out there an idea of the man himself, but also the academy behind him, and then also this exciting new course that he's put together. Jorge, hello, how are you?
Hello, Jimmy. Great to see you, and I hope you are coming to Galicia very soon, because we are missing you.
Well, I'm always in Galicia. I think it's been twice in the last 9 months, so I think you'll see me back out there very soon, and I'll be wearing one of my floral shirts as I normally do. Yes. So for everybody out there, Jorge, please could you introduce yourself a little bit so we get an understanding of who you are. Could you talk a little bit about your history? Because I believe that you, before wine, and I can't believe there was a life before wine, but you were in something like communications or something like that, or an engineer, right, initially, and then you went to wine.
Right. I studied engineering, so I used to work as an engineer for more than 10 years for banks and the automotive industry also. But I was born in a little town in Ourense, inside Galicia, in Galicia. And my family had always done wine just for the family and nothing very important, but I had always been very attracted by the wine. And I started to just studying and traveling, you can imagine, as a wine lover. But I became more than a wine lover, maybe, and I started to teach about wine. I founded my own school, Galicia Wine Academy, in 2017, and I got the WSET Diploma in 2022. So now I'm just forgetting about the engineering and I'm just focusing in wine since almost 10 years ago.
Fantastic. And you could say, Jorge, that you've engineered your future, which you've used your skill set of the past to engineer your future in wine, which is fantastic. So you are from Ourense, so you're Galician born and bred. You've decided to stay in Galicia and focus purely on Galicia by opening the Galician Wine Academy, as you mentioned, in 2017. You offer WSET, you offer some other courses as well. I've been to your school as well. How many places do you operate in Galicia? Is it Santiago, Vigo, Ourense? Where do you have your classes?
Yeah, we are offering courses in almost every city in Galicia, so A Coruña, Santiago, Vigo, Ourense, and also even small places where just people ask us to, they want a course about wine, maybe just an introductory course, and we are trying to offer the course. We always say that in every place where 10 people together want a course about wine, we will go there and offer it to them, because we are very, we really want to let people know about wine and make the wine culture broader in Galicia, and wider. That's the point of our job here.
So, I mean, Jorge, with you gaining your diploma from WSET, you've got a lot of knowledge now behind you. Why choose Galicia? I know you're obviously from Galicia, but you could have perhaps worked in La Rioja or Catalunya, or you could have gone elsewhere across Europe. Why Galicia, and what makes it so special to give education on?
No, maybe because I'm from here and I'm just loving this part of the world. But It's true that in the, maybe 10 years ago, it was quite hard to let people know that maybe it could be a good thing to study about the wines and about the wines of all over the world. And that's something that is still hard when we are trying to show them that we need to know about Sauvignon Blanc or Chardonnay just to maybe to sell Albariño or Godello, because I always tell that you cannot work in the music industry if you don't know about the music that all the world is producing. If you just care about the music of your own town. So that's the reason why I think we needed that. We needed to know more about the wines of the rest of the world. And we want to stay here and collaborate in that. No? And that's the reason, the main reason why we founded our school.
And with Galicia as well, it's catching up, right? Because you could say probably, as you mentioned, 10, 20 years ago, there was less of a focus. You only really have maybe the DOs being quite independent, but now there's more of a collaboration in Galicia between the DOs. Are you finding that that's definitely what's happening? There's more possibilities of marketing Galician wine. There's more ease of working with the DOs than before?
I'm not sure.
You have to say yes because you work with them a lot.
Yes, I have to say yes. It's true, but I'm not sure if it's the same in the rest of the world. But here, some producers think that maybe if the other producers are very successful selling their wines, maybe that would be a problem for them. But we are trying to show them, and now they are realizing that it's completely the opposite. They need to show the world what Galicia is and what we can offer to them, just to sell not only their own wines, but the wines of the whole industry in Galicia. And now that point is changing, so the DOs are collaborating, are working together. They are trying to offer things together. They are going to the first sometimes together, and this brand Galician wines or wines from Galicia is becoming more important. And it's I don't know what you think, but I think it's much more interesting and make people feel more interest about Galician wines than not only just for one of the 5 DOs of Galician.
No, absolutely. I think there's more knowledge, say in the English-speaking market, for example, there's more knowledge just where Galicia is. I think 20 years ago, here in the UK, there wouldn't be many people who would know where Galicia was located, apart from maybe if you're religious, and you know the Camino de Santiago, for example. But really, not much knowledge behind Galicia. I really doubt many people 20 years ago could locate Galicia on a map, or even in Spain. They wouldn't know that. Probably some Spaniards wouldn't be able to do that a couple of decades ago. But it's a place that's, of course, got a lot of religious importance, with the Camino de Santiago. It's got a lot of fantastic gastronomy, of course, seafood, and, all of the brilliant oysters and mussels and barnacles, which I tried for the first time.
You love them. I know you love them.
Yeah, they were difficult to begin with, but fantastic in the end. So it's got such great beauty behind it, hasn't it? And one thing I like, and I would like to know your opinion on this, do you think that Galicia is finally evolving away from Alberinho? I know it's a focus, but do you think there is more to Galicia than just Alberinho? Are people starting to recognize this in Spain and across the world as well?
Alberinho is a great variety. I think all of us can say that, and it has been great for us to enter all the markets in the world, or most of the markets in the world. But it's true that we have much more to offer than just Alberinho. Alberinho is becoming is in a very important transformation, because now, here we are working a lot in these old Alberinhos. Everybody knows about the young Alberinhos, and they are perfect, they are nice. But the point now is these very old Alberinhos with completely different profile of aromas, and much more complex, and much more easy to pair with maybe grassy foods or even meats. So it's becoming completely different. But not only Albariño, the rest of the things we can offer. For example, Godello. Godello is nowadays becoming very important in our industry. Each year, a lot of producers are starting or increasing the production of Godello, but also the reds, the Brancellao or Merenzao or Caiños or Espadeiros. It's true that our red production is just very little, but even being so little, it's very interesting because it's completely different from all the reds from the rest of Spain, for example. So I think we have a lot of things to offer, and Albariño has been just the door where we can just open and now offer the rest of our production.
Yeah, great. That's a really good answer. Yeah, it certainly has created this interest in Galicia, and people are now discovering it. And that happened with me sort of maybe 10, 15 years ago, which was super exciting. I got hooked on Alberinho and then, of course, started to discover other things. The other thing I want to mention as well, which was the biggest epiphany, the biggest surprise, I suppose, to me this time around. And in fact, you and I have talked about this before, but Alberinho's ability to age as a grape variety is very underrated because most of it gets drunk in 1 or 2 years. But I remember I was sitting with Isabel Delgado from Filaboya, and we were trying the young wines, and I was like, I'd really like to try something older. And she mentioned that maybe the top wine, she'll go and get an older top wine. I said, no, please give me your standard estate Alberinho from Filaboya, and I want to see one with about 5 or 6 years age on it. And every Alberinho, not every, but many Alberinhos, even if they're sort of 10, 15 pounds in the UK market, have good ability to age. And I love that. There's not many grape varieties in the world that have such an ability to age. You have to pay a lot of money for a Semillon, for example, from Australia. You have to pay quite a lot of money for Riesling. And I mention those two grapes because I think Alberinho ages similar to those. And I love that because it gets that honey, toasty sort of character, nuttiness, which is just great.
Yeah. I'm sorry, completely right. Just to say that it's easy to understand that if Riesling has this ability with the high acidity and very intense aromas, why not Alberinho? Alberinho has the same high acidity and has also the very impressive aromas. So why not trying to age the Alberinhos? The point was that we didn't know that the Alberinhos aged so well in the past. And it's easy to understand. It was very fine, very easy to sell the Alberinhos when they were young. So why should we wait for them?
Exactly.
So it's something that we are even starting to understand right now.
Yeah, no, exactly. And if you're making such a good wine, you want to drink it, right? You kind of don't. And certainly, if you're making it, you have that market immediately, and people are selling it. You're selling it into the UK, selling it into the US. But I'm so happy now that many of the estates are starting to hold on to their wines and making sure there's verticals that we can taste of all this beautiful development.
Yeah.
So all of this kind of information, Jorge, around the grape varieties you mentioned, of course, Brancellao and Caiño, and there are varieties Alberinho, Godello, Mencía, etc. And all the DOs. We are talking about, of course, making a segue here into the brand new course that you have established, which is the Galician Wine Specialist. So this is new. Can you tell us when you launched it? Can you tell us about the course and maybe, of course, about how to take it? The Galician Wine Specialist.
Yeah, it's a course where we have been working for, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years even. We were offering this course in, offline, just in our school, but we knew we had to work in an online format because lots of people were asking us that they wanted to to learn about Galician wines, but they couldn't come to Vigo or any other place in Galicia where we were offering it. So we were working hard. First of all, we wrote a book to have all the information together. Now we changed the format into an online format, and we collaborate with the Xunta de Galicia, which is the Galician government, and ACACAL, which is let's say the body that has all the DOs together inside. So we work in all the materials just to offer people the complete course of the specialist, the Galician Wine Specialist. The point is that right now we only have it in Spanish in this moment where we are talking, but we will have it in English in 1 month more or less. We are working on that, and we will be able to offer it to the rest of the world.
Fantastic. So currently in Spanish, being released in English later, probably later this year. I know that you've got a couple of courses coming up. You have one in Santiago, which so you do it in person as well as online, right?
Yeah, we are doing both systems. So if you wanna come and join us in Galicia for the course, that would be great for us. But if you can't do that and you prefer just doing online, that it's also great. You know, during the first 2 months of the course, we got 2,000 people in the introductory course for all over the world. Just it's true that the Spanish-speaking countries, but it has been a great success. So we are hoping that we will have the same opportunities in the English market, and we are trying to get that.
And Jorge, this course online is without wine, is it? And is it free?
Yeah, we have different levels of the courses. So the first level, that is the introductory course, it's for free, and it's true it's a dry course. We don't have tasting in that course. But with the second level, that is the Galician Wine Specialist, it's a course that you have to pay for it, but you can also ask for a kind of samples that we can send you to your home in any part of the world, just to share a blind tasting together. Is these Galicia icons that I gave you in your you have it in your last visit here. So with these Galicia icons, you will get 6 samples also to taste them together with the course.
Okay, great. That's really interesting. So you have an introductory dry course, you have the Galician Wine Specialist, where there will be a paid amount, and then you can add on the tasting samples for anywhere in the world. Great. Yeah. That's really exciting, really exciting, because I think we're talking about a collaboration here in the UK with my school in London. So that's going to be a TBC, of course, but really exciting. 2,000 signups. I mean, that is fantastic. That's really great. You must be so happy about how that's started.
You know, it has been even something that we were not expecting when we launched it, because it's true that we know that there is an interest about Galician wines, and great that we have it, but maybe you were not so aware of what they were expecting, and now we know that it can be a very useful tool. You know that nowadays this kind of courses about any region are becoming so important, because it's the way that we professionals can really go deep inside the wines of the region. So it's true that maybe we need it, and we are now offering it, and we know that we can progress in those courses. Our last point will be to offer the educator, the Galician Wine Educator course with the government of Galicia, for those that want to come to Galicia and stay here for a whole week and become the official educator of Galician wine. That would be the next
Sounds
step.
horrible. Sounds absolutely horrible.
I know you will enjoy it. I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, of course.
enjoy it.
You know, I'm top of the list. Brilliant. It sounds really, really fascinating. So, Jorge, thank you so much for telling us about yourself, your academy, and this new specialist course. It all sounds very, very exciting. Everybody at home, please, if you're watching this video, let me know what your thoughts are about Galicia. Do you love Galician wines? What are your favorite grape varieties? What are your favorite areas? Do you stay in Galicia? Do you visit? Please get in touch. It would be great to hear from you. And any questions for Jorge as well, please pop them in the comments section below, and I'll make sure that he gets access to those questions as well. All the information about the Galician Wine Academy, which is Jorge's school, as well as the course, will be found in the description below this video. And please do get in touch with Jorge for any more information around that. Jorge, some closing thoughts, anything you're going to say?
I just want to say that you are very, very, very welcome to come to Galicia. So please visit us, enjoy with us our landscape, our gastronomy, and of course, our wines. We will be very glad to welcome you.
Perfect. Brilliant. Thank you very much, Jorge.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.